Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday, August 31st, 2021. Mr. Perry here with the rundown of what we're doing today. First and foremost, bell ringer on Schoology. Make sure that you've answered that up. And actually, the other thing that we need to do is, I'm going to add an extra one here right now. Submit drops on a penny. If you haven't submitted that drops on a penny, make sure that you do that as well here. And what we're doing in class today, we're looking at kind of the bridge between our skills and our first topic in life science, which is going to be cells. But before we even get to that, we need to just talk about what it means to be a living creature, because that's what we study in biology. Biology is the study of life, so we're going to look at over the next couple of days what it means to be living. So in class, we're doing a little think, pair, share of what we think are some of the necessary things to need to be living, and then we're going to go through and do our notes for it. So for you at home, what you need to make sure that you do is the note part of this, and to be following along, because I'll give kind of our mini kind of abbreviated lesson here. So where I'm at on Schoology to find this stuff is that you go to this week, you go down here to Tuesday, you'll find a copy of the notes, which if you can, print this out. That'd be helpful for you to keep track of things. Otherwise, I'll give you a copy when you come back to class for you to fill out. But this is what we're going to go over. And then you'll find the slideshow with everything right underneath of that, where we'll bring up our Google Slides. And this is the part where I'm going to run through this real quick. So you at least can hear everything that's being said. Whether or not maybe you're writing things down right now is up to if you have the printer or not to print stuff, but you'll at least hear the information here. So what we're going to look at is characteristics of things that are living. I'm going to make my head a little bit smaller here. There we go, so that you can read everything that's on the board, because that would be important. First thing, characteristics of living things. Number one is cells. All living things are made out of cells, either one or many cells. If they're made out of one cell, it's called unicellular, because uni means one. Think like uno, but it's uni. Unicellular means one. Multicellular means many cells. We as animals are multicellular, but things like bacteria and things like amoebas and parameciums, which we're going to look at underneath microscopes later on this year in this next unit, those are going to be unicellular objects there. Second one, we're made of chemicals. All living things are made out of chemicals. Water, carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, nucleic acids. Those are kind of like the foundations of what build us up. And we'll take a look at those in one of our later units. Everything that's alive needs to use energy. That's how we do our basic functions. That's how we survive, is that we use energy to do our processes. Number four is that everything responds to their surroundings. Whether or not you respond quick enough depends on the type of creature that you are, but everything has a response to things. And the response is how you react to something happening. That something that happens is a stimulus. The weather gets colder. The response for some animals is to hibernate. The response for like the trees is to lose their leaves. There's different things that they respond to that same situation, but it's going to be different depending on what type of animal, plant, fungi thing that you are. 5, everything that is living grows, whether it's just in size in general or your body type can also change as well. Think like a tadpole into a frog. Not only do they change in size, but they also change drastically in their appearance. A caterpillar going into a butterfly, drastically changing their body type with not only their size. In some cases, we just grow bigger and bigger and bigger. If you take the dog, for example, here, is growing taller and taller and taller, but it still maintains its same, like, similar shape from its puppy form into its adult form as it goes through there. That's just kind of growing in size. It's not going underneath some kind of drastic metamorphosis or something along those lines. And then last but not least, because there's only 6 of these, everything has to be able to reproduce. They have to be able to produce what we call offspring, which means children. So you have to be able to pass the lineage on from one generation to the other there. So they got to be able to reproduce. So then the second half of what we look at today is, what do living things need? Living things need a couple of things. First off, they need water. Water carries our nutrients and oxygen to our cells, which is important for us. For other animals and plants, or for other plants, they might not need specifically oxygen, but they'll carry what they need to their cells to keep our cells powering. If our cells stay alive, we stay alive. If our cells die, we're going to die. There's bad things happening there. Food. We need food to make sure that we have energy. Energy was one of our basic 6 characteristics. There's 2 ways that you can get food. You can make your own. If you make your own, you're what is called an autotroph. Think automatically, so they're making their own. Then we have heterotroph, which is things that don't make their own food, like us as animals. We have to go and eat something from another source of energy there. We don't make our own food that we would digest. Plants would be an example of an autotroph. They sit there, they use the sun to gather and make all their sugars inside of their bodies. We would have to go and then eat stuff. We're a heterotroph. The last final 2 then is going to be a living space. You need some kind of location where you can gather resources, find a mate, all that kind of good stuff. You need some place to just live, to call home. Doesn't necessarily have to have a roof over the head, but usually that benefits things there. But like a tree won't have a roof for its head. It's just out there in the middle of the wilderness. But it has to have soil in order to grow there. So it has to have some kind of space that is designated for itself. It can't just grow in the middle of the air. And then the last one, it's probably one that you haven't heard of too much. That is what is called homeostasis. Say that again, homeostasis. If you want to do the repeat after me thing, go ahead. I'll do it one more time if you want to repeat it at home there. Homeostasis. What that means is that making sure that everything inside of us is A-okay. Normally, we don't have to think about that. Our body is doing that for us already. When we eat food, our body just goes in through the digestive process. You don't have to sit there and be like, oh, I need to digest my food now. No, you don't have to do that. You don't have to think about it. Your body just takes care of it. So usually homeostasis takes care of itself. Now, it will give you warnings when things are going wrong. Like when you're hungry, your stomach's going to growl. You're going to feel that sensation to need to eat something. Homeostasis is involved with that. It is the thing that is causing your stomach to rumble in that case. And then there is a video to watch on there that kind of will wrap things up. So I want you to watch this video. I'll also have a link to the video in the folder as well there, because we won't be able to watch it. But some of our favorite videos that we watch, the little amoeba sisters here, the little cells, going about their action. But that is it. That is what is life. A general rundown of the 6 major characteristics and the 4 things that everything needs in order to survive. If you have any questions about what we looked at today, don't be afraid to email me. There is no homework because we're going to do an activity on Wednesday where you're going to be using all of this stuff to kind of prove whether or not something is living or something is non-living. So check back tomorrow. I'll have another video created for you. Until then, I'll see you later. Hope you're doing well. Email me if you got any questions. Bye.